Kind of interesting. I remember when I started getting really heavy into manga almost a decade ago. I was like, yo, man, I really love this. You know what I'm saying? Naruto, One Piece, Bleach, all of these popular shows or popular manga from Shonen Jump. I remember feeling like I'm in such a small niche of a hobby because I was like, yo, comic books, actual Marvel and DC and stuff like that is a niche hobby. Everybody's like, oh, it's for nerds and all of that nonsense or whatever. So I already felt like, okay, if comics are regarded as like a niche hobby for like a very small section of people, imagine what they feel about manga fans. Well, the tables have turned. You know what I'm saying? Like, based on this big announcement that is happening between Shonen Jump and Marvel, I'm expecting to see some craziness. I'm expecting to see some hype stuff, honestly, because we got a very big crossover collaboration between the two that's coming in the next few months, and I'm expecting some greatness, because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of the movies, of like Marvel and DC stuff. I'm not the biggest fan of the comics nowadays. I did read comics here or there back in the day. I didn't follow like every series or whatever, but I remember a lot of the Frank Miller Batmans, for example, from DC were some of my favorite stuff. But now we got Marvel seemingly crossing over with Shonen Jump based on this announcement. I want to talk about it, and yeah, we got big creators on board that's going to be working on this project. Let's talk about it.
Whether Facebook, Twitter, or the two, make sure to steer clear, cause I'm coming through like...
Okay, so yeah, like I said, Shonen Jump and Marvel Comics have announced that they're going to be doing some sort of partnership. Now, it seems as though Marvel is desperate right now, because manga, especially in the United States, has taken off dramatically, especially with the announcement of Shonen Jump's new app and all the stuff that's been going on over here in the West, where it's like you're paying $2 for, all their back catalog, like 10,000 manga, all that stuff. Humongous. People can afford it. It's very, it's a steal of a price, all of that good stuff. But also, manga throughout the years has, especially again in the West, blown up. Attack on Titan, all of these series that constantly blow up with the seasonal stuff. One Punch Man has really taken manga and anime to a mainstream level. Marvel Comics, on the other hand, despite the movies being major successes, the comic books really don't sell that well. Aside from, from my understanding, about a handful or so, they usually have a small run and then they get canceled again, aside from like a select few that are pretty damn good from my understanding. But it seems as though Marvel is trying to grab on to Shonen Jump and trying to get into their reader demographic. Now, I'll be honest with you, I might check a few of these out just because of what's going on, but I don't know how interested I'm going to be personally in this, simply because my problem with Marvel and DC, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to generalize it or whatever, but one of my problems with it is that a lot of the stories that they push into the mainstream is stories of characters that we've already seen for decades upon decades. Don't get me wrong, because I don't want to be a hypocrite. Yeah, I love me a new Dragon Ball story, or small series that come back here or there. It's very rare with manga that a series comes back after like 20, 30 years or whatever. They usually either have it ongoing straight or it's done. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I can enjoy ongoing title or whatnot. But with Marvel, especially with the comics, is like every few months you have a new storyline of a new writer writing a new story of some of the same characters, the same heroes that we've seen time and time again, like Iron Man, Spider-Man, all that stuff, which, again, I like these characters, but I'm not a big fan of the way Western comics practices releasing and doing stories in general, just because it's like, you could write some new stories, I'll totally check them out. Why it gotta be the same ones, you know what I'm saying? But we have all this information right here of what's about to go down, very interesting stuff. We're gonna read it and talk some more, but I'm kind of 50-50 right now on just in general even hearing about Marvel joining up with Shonen Jump, because I'm more, obviously, as you can tell, an anime and manga fan. I don't know how I'll feel about all of this, but let's read. So Shonen Jump and Marvel team up for 2 months of webcomics. Titles featuring Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, and more can be seen through the Shonen Jump Plus app. Crossovers has long made for exciting moments in many comic book series, with the bigger crossovers often being the most memorable. Now perhaps one of the most long-distance collaborations is about to take place, with some of Marvel's most popular heroes gracing the digital pages of Japan's Shonen Jump Plus, home of classics such as One Piece, Dragon Ball, and Slam Dunk, to name only a few. Now, I think in Japan, if they do have a regular Shonen Jump app, I don't think it's like the West. Like over here, we're kind of spoiled. They give us everything. You could go from Dragon Ball to the latest chapter of Dr. Slump. I think in Japan, to get the classics, you gotta also subscribe to Shonen Jump Plus, and that's where they're gonna kind of squeeze these in. So they're not gonna mess with the main, the main enchilada, assuming they actually have a main Shonen Jump app, because I know they really still are trying hard to fight off the dying and shrinking industry of physical distribution when it comes to the magazine, not the manga volumes themselves. Although from my understanding, until we get the digital sales, manga sales have been dropping each year because digital has picked up. But again, we don't really know exactly how much digital has contributed because they don't release those numbers. But anyway, let's keep going. The team kicked off on September 3rd with an illustrated interview of Marvel editor-in-chief C.B. Cebulski by Shonen Jump Plus artist Takeshi Sakurai. The two compare their respective publishing giants while giving Japanese readers a little extra background on Marvel. Which, yeah, even though, we have these big movies that do great all over, our stuff isn't necessarily the most popular in some places. And I don't think that, aside from them knowing, like, from the big movies and big video games, that, like, comic books of our stuff is at all popular over there. Imagine if comic books are struggling over here to keep readership, what makes you think it's going to be big in other places that they got plenty of stuff? Not saying that manga is better than comics, although I think so, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be popping. It's possible, but it's unlikely that it will be exploding in Japan, a Marvel comic, a Hulk comic or something, but it's like dead in the water over here in, the West. The following day is the release of Secret Reverse by Kazuki Takahashi, the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! That is a very big deal. Creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! For him to come out, because, ever since Yu-Gi-Oh! And probably all the money he made from the card game and everything, the man has done little things here or there. He did the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie and shit like that, so to see that he's actually coming in and doing things, huge. In the first half of the two-part series, Peter Parker and Tony Stark arrive in Japan after receiving invitations to a game convention. Whether or not this means the two will get involved in duel monsters remains to be seen in either this or the second half, which is set to be published on November 27th. That sounds weird. I'm not gonna lie. To see, like, hold on, it's Tony Stark and Peter Parker, so Iron Man and Spider-Man dueling with Yu-Gi-Oh! Never thought I'd see the day. I ain't mad at it. I remember when they did like a small little crossover of Attack on Titan and Spider-Man. That was like freaking nuts, although they let the Titans get the crap beat out of them. But this kind of sounds just weird. Like, what's Peter Parker pulling out a dark magician? Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested, but it just seems so out of, like, they could have had other characters or another author with similar characters have a crossover instead of Yu-Gi-Oh! With Spider-Man and Iron Man. There will be plenty to read in between with a doubleheader of Avengers. On September 18th, Hachi Mizuno, Akuten War's author, or creator, will present a lighter side of Earth's greatest heroes drawn in a cutesy style with Avengers gag reel. Yeah, I probably will be skipping out on that one. Most definitely. This will be followed by the fictional Avengers interview with heroes by Ken Ogino, Lady Justice. October will be rounded out with Deadpool Samurai on the 16th by Sanisho Kazama and Hikaru Uesugi. Yeah, I'm butchering these names possibly. Sugihagi Quest. So again, so far the biggest author we got is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Author, which appears to be a send-up of the 2013 film The Wolverine, which was titled Wolverine Samurai in Japan. Then celebrate Halloween with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and more, and Halloween Avengers by Mato, Darling in the Franxx. Okay, Darling in the Franxx is pretty big. I remember a couple seasons ago that anime was huge, so they got some pretty heavy contenders. Finally, before the conclusion of Secret Reverse, November 13th we'll see the tentatively titled Ant-Man Plus, in which Scott Lang travels to Japan to spy on his daughter Cassie, who has come as an exchange student. These titles can all be read on the Shonen Jump Plus app, which is the online arm of the manga publishing heavyweight. It's a collab of love for these two titans, with Cebulski telling Oricon News, with Shonen Jump's philosophy of creating character-driven action stories and support from readers of all ages, I can't think of a better platform to bring Marvel's characters to than Japan. Shonen Jump Plus's editor-in-chief Shuhei Hosono returned the sentiment saying, as a Marvel fan myself, I'm very excited about this project and I'm happy that we can finally show it to everyone. I hope you will enjoy these works, passionately drawn by Shonen Jump artists who love Marvel too. So pretty much in a nutshell, Marvel is going to be, a lot of Marvel stories are going to be written by popular Japanese authors. They're going to be on the Shonen Jump Plus app. I'm imagining it will make its way over here, because I remember, and I think I have like 3 of the DVD box sets of it. They did some Marvel anime over there. They did a Wolverine anime, a Blade anime, and was it an X-Men anime? They did like either 3 or 4 of them, to be honest with you. I know I have a good chunk of them in my collection and whatnot. So they've tried this before with anime. They went straight for the big guns. I don't think it worked too well. Maybe going with Shonen Jump, especially Shonen Jump has a huge name, things will be different. I don't know, but it seems as though Marvel needs Shonen Jump more than Shonen Jump needs them at all. Like, Shonen Jump, I think, especially with digital on the rise and whatnot, I don't think they need Marvel too much. And I think Marvel, considering like their base isn't like younger demographic that Shonen Jump in Japan in particular. Like in North America, Shonen Jump, let's be honest here, majority of the people that read Shonen Jump manga isn't little kids. It's mainly like adults that really like the badassery of certain series. So Shonen Jump over here, different demographic obviously, but in Japan they could reach a younger demographic that might get into comics. So they're probably hoping to reach a bigger audience and a different audience than they get over here and see what happens. Honestly, I might check out a couple of them. I would love to see, I'm not even gonna lie, just to get a laugh at the very least, and I might even talk about it. That's how funny it would be, depending on if it's good or not. Spider-Man and Iron Man dueling against like Joey Wheeler, like the Brooklyn Brawler. Kind of curious what you guys think about this though. How do you feel about Marvel being written by, honestly, I think this could be a good thing. I think these stories could be really good. Author Yu-Gi-Oh has some really bomb-ass stuff. Don't sleep on Yu-Gi-Oh, you know what I'm saying, just because 4 kids came through with their dub. But it also is very telling that despite the huge, I mean astronomical numbers that things like the Avengers and Spider-Man and all of them do movies-wise, people just don't care about the comics over here in the West. Because if they did, they would not be reaching out to Shonen Jump Plus in Japan to try and get their stuff out there. I mean, I'm sure they want to go international, they want to go global, but based on what I hear, comics don't do too well over here. They're trying to get an audience out there, and it's like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Your overall thoughts and expectations for this. I'm expecting maybe a couple of them to be a little awkward, to be honest with you. They are going to have some guidelines. They're not going to allow them to just run wild with their titles. They might have some regulations, and so it's going to be weird to see, or interesting at the very least, to see how these mangaka handle creating some of these stories. But again, I'm not the biggest fan or excited about it, just because it's like, if I want to see a really good story of a lot of these comic books, I watch the movies. That's just my opinion. I know comics can be great. There's some great stuff out there, but I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not that excited. But that's a lot for this one though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule. Anime and manga for life, boy. Have an awesome day. Peace in.
Enjoy the next ride, but I was the best ride. But I hope you know that wherever you go